back because I predict these things.
Valter Walker takes on Mohammed Usman this Saturday at UFC Fight Night Rio. And this is an interesting matchup. Valter Walker, off of 3 heel hook victories in a row, taking on Mohammed Usman, who has had a little bit of success in the UFC. Was getting kind of his legs beat up against Hamdi Abdul-Wahab in the last fight, and started to kind of take over as Hamdi started to gas out. But lost to Thomas Peterson and Mick Parkin before that. Doesn't have any real high-level wins in the UFC. Did knock out Zach Pauga back in 2022, but ever since then he's been a decision merchant, either winning or losing by decision. Valter Walker, like I said, the 3 heel hook wins. I picked against him in his last fight against Kennedy and Nzechukwu. I thought that Kennedy would be able to kind of keep him at range and piece him up on the feet, because Valter Walker's not the best guy on the feet. He's not like his brother. He's more of a grappler. But he was able to get a hold of him and roll for a heel hook, which is interesting in this one, because it proves that he doesn't necessarily have to get a blast double against somebody at heavyweight to submit them. You know, he can roll for legs to get him to the ground. He can roll for legs and, you know, tap him in heel hooks, which I think is a definite possibility in this one, because I don't think Mohammed Usman, he just seems like one of those guys that, you know, he's a high-level wrestler. You know, I think he was a standout wrestler in high school back in Texas. You know, he's a big dude. He's strong. But I don't think he's one of those guys that's working off of his back or working his jiu-jitsu game. I think he's primarily working ground and pound, wrestling techniques, defensive wrestling, and striking. So if somebody like Valter Walker gets a hold of him, I think that he's going to be lost on the ground. And I think that's what's going to happen here. I think that Valter Walker, you know, he pushes forward with, you know, big punches. You know, he hurt Kennedy and Nzechukwu before he got the submission. He's not afraid to, you know, put himself out there and look to damage people on the feet, because he's not afraid for somebody to take him down. He would prefer you to take him down so that he can roll for legs. But there is a chance here that we look at he runs into another Lucas Bresky performance where starts to kind of gas, gets his takedowns, but can't really do anything with them, and gets outpointed on the feet, out damaged. So do think that's a possibility, but I'm just not high on Mohammed Usman. You know, I think that he's very rudimentary on the feet, kind of plods forward. He doesn't respond well to engagements and getting hit, and when people are pushing forward, you know, he just kind of lowers his head and swings back, or kind of shies away from the engagement. So just kind of freezes up at times. But I do think that he will technically probably be the better striker in this one. Again, Valter Walker, I don't think he's the most high-level guy on the feet. Definitely not like his brother, but I think that Valter will eventually get his takedowns against Usman, whether he's rolling for legs, him and Hari rolling if he's got to, but I think he'll eventually get him. Like I said, he can roll with leg locks. I just don't think Kamaru Usman has the jiu-jitsu to stop something like that. More of the anti-wrestler, brawler type of guy. And Valter Walker, you know, he gets every UFC opponent down at some point, and some of them are more skilled than others. I definitely don't think that Mohammed Usman is, you know, light years ahead of these 3 guys that have fallen to the heel hook in the past 3 fights. So, again, Usman kind of rudimentary on the feet, not the most technical guy. I just don't think that he does anything extremely well. I don't think he's going to be able to avoid Valter Walker's takedowns with his movement or footwork by any means. Doesn't check leg kicks very well. Valter Walker, you know, he'll throw leg kicks as well to kind of stifle the movement of him. And I don't know, Usman, I just don't feel like he does anything great. And I know that Valter Walker, you know, he doesn't have the best striking, but he does have very good grappling. So I think he can wade forward, get a hold of him at some time, throw some heavy hands, close the distance, and eventually find the submission. Usman, like I said, doesn't move very well, so he's kind of, I think he'll be kind of easy to get a hold of. And I wouldn't be shocked if Valter Walker, you know, as he came in waiting, like chinned Usman. You know, like I said, he doesn't really respond well to getting hit or taking punishment. So Usman, I don't think that he has a lot of, I mean, obviously he hits hard, but we haven't really seen that. You know, he chinned Zach Pauga like over 3 years ago, but since then he hasn't really shown an ability to hurt guys and put them away. So in the UFC, at least on the regional scene, he's got some finishes, but that's just against, you know, regional scene journeymen. So he just hasn't shown a consistent ability to get respect on the feet and hurt guys enough to, in my opinion, to keep Valter Walker from really pushing forward into the clinch and looking to get his takedowns. So just don't think he's going to really be able to get the respect from him. So I'm going to go with Valter Walker to eventually get the takedown, roll for a leg, find the heel hook, but I think he'll definitely eventually find the submission in this one, if not get enough control time on the ground to win a decision. But I'm going to go with Valter Walker. I would not be shocked if he got another heel hook in this one, but I'm going to go with him to win by submission. Thanks.